I've been sitting here for 20 minutes trying to figure out how to write this down. My hands keep shaking. The cursor blinks, waiting. I need someone to understand what's happening to me. It started 3 weeks ago. Just little things at first. You know how sometimes you catch movement in the corner of your eye, but when you turn to look, nothing's there. It was like that, except the movement started lasting longer. Just a fraction of a second more each time. Long enough that I could almost make out shapes. Dark, angular things that didn't quite fit into the corners of rooms. God, I just heard something in the kitchen. I'm not going to look. I'm not. Where was I? Right. The shapes. They started showing up in mirrors too. Not directly. You'd never see them head on. But in the reflection of the reflection, in that weird infinite tunnel you get when you angle two mirrors just right, something was moving differently. The reflections weren't matching up anymore. I thought I was just tired. Working too much, sleeping too little. That's what Dr. Martinez said when I finally broke down and went to see her. She prescribed something to help me sleep. But that only made it worse because now I can't tell when I'm actually awake. Last night I woke up, at least I think I woke up, and the spaces between my furniture were wrong. You know that feeling when you're in a place that should be familiar, but suddenly it isn't? Like visiting your childhood home years later, and everything's slightly off. It was like that, except it was my own apartment, my own bedroom, and the shadows between my dresser and the wall were too deep, too dark, and they were breathing. I laid there for what felt like hours, watching the darkness pulse. In and out, in and out. The space between my closet doors kept stretching wider, then shrinking back, but the doors themselves never moved. It was like reality was thin there, worn out, and something was pushing against it from the other side. Sorry, had to stop for a minute. My neighbors walking around upstairs, except I live on the top floor. The worst part isn't the fear anymore. It's the doubt. Because sometimes everything seems normal again, and I start thinking I imagined it all. But then I'll notice something small, a shadow that falls the wrong way, or how the distance between my couch and coffee table seems to change when I'm not looking directly at it. And now, this morning, I found something. When I was making my bed, I noticed a small tear in my sheets. Not along a seam or anything, just in the middle of the fabric. And through that tear, I can't even describe what I saw through that tear. It wasn't darkness, it wasn't light. It was like looking at a color that shouldn't exist. I'm writing this because I need someone to know what's happening. Because I'm starting to think these aren't hallucinations. I'm starting to think that whatever lives in the spaces between things has noticed me noticing it. And it's getting bolder. The spaces in my apartment are getting wider. The gaps between words on the screen are starting to breathe. And I swear, just now, in the space between one blink and the next, I saw it smile.